It's funny that we both have the buckets, you know, and the pros don't.
Yeah, nothing. I'm cool with that. Hey guys, so today you join us in Riga, Latvia. I'm here with the guys from Barrel Hockey, Axel, checking out their sticks. You guys know that we've done plenty of videos on these sticks in the past, but we wanted to kind of go a little bit more in depth over here with the guys that make the sticks. And of course, we've got Tommy and Sean in the background, going to be giving some feedback on what the performance is like. Axel, man, introduce yourself to the fans.
Yes, hey guys, I'm Axel. You have probably seen me on social media ads, me sitting somewhere in the middle of ice rink. So this is me, it's not a scam, it's real.
It's not. And I've got to mention, guys, look at the height difference, man. I feel like I'm 5 years old. Like. Let's jump into it.
So at Barrel Hockey, we consider ourselves one of the first ones only focusing on durability. But obviously, you know, to have a durability, it comes with some shortages or downfalls, which is weight. But let me explain what we do. Our stick is like 20 to 30 grams heavier. How come? There's a bit more materials to the shaft to make it more durable. Also, you probably noticed one thing. You don't see a carbon through it.
Yeah, that's true.
Which would be like the usual thing on the sticks. Why? Because we use this wrap deck that basically is a thin foil wrap that makes it more sturdy, makes it more durable. And that is the reason why you don't see it on the shaft. So that's one thing. But obviously all these things that I just mentioned adds weight. And what we do with the weight, we actually move the weight closer to the top hand to make it feel lighter. Even though it's like 20 to 30 grams heavier, it feels lighter just because the balance point is a bit higher. So yes, that's what we're doing. So it's not the cheapest stick, definitely. It's not the cheapest stick on the market, but like we have to look at, you know, expenses from two sides, right? So one is how much the stick costs, but the second thing is how often do you need to replace it?
Yeah.
You know, and so it's not the cheapest one, but you can get, what we guarantee is that you will get a longer time of, what we guarantee is that basically the stick will last longer because of the durability aspect. So in the long term, you will definitely pay less.
Okay, I think the balance thing is definitely an important one to touch on, and I'm sure Tommy and Sean will be able to touch on the balance and how the stick feels on ice in terms of its performance, because they're much better players than me. But one thing that's definitely worth mentioning is a lot of players have this conception of the more they pay for a stick, the more they expect the stick to last. Because you spent $400 on a stick, it should last you a year, the whole season. That's not the case. High performance equipment generally across all industries isn't made to be durable or to be cost effective, it's made to perform. A lot of the times you'll see elite players take 5-6 snapshots on the ice, sometimes less, and then switch sticks. It's because the high performance sticks flex easier. You hear Tommy and Sean mention this in videos all the time. It's super easy to load, it's super easy to flex the stick, but that has an effect on the fibers of the stick. It breaks down much quicker than a stick that's built like this. So I'm not saying that the high-end brands and their sticks are bad and you shouldn't buy them. That's not the case. It's a case of weigh up what you need. If you are a beer leaguer, you're a recreational player, you play for fun, you want to play the game for as long as you can and reduce costs, which means you don't want to be blowing your bank balance on very expensive sticks that are made to perform for a short amount of time. It might make more sense to invest in a stick that will last because it is literally constructed to last and also to perform, and because of the balance to feel like a good stick, but at the same time not absolutely annihilate your bank balance. And I think, is that a fair way of summarizing what you guys are trying to create?
Yes, definitely. And you know, like, the stick itself, it's a lot of engineering. And you know, carbon itself, there's multiple types of carbons, multiple, you know, like levels, let's put it like this, cheaper ones, more expensive ones. And so what we also do and incorporate here, we try to incorporate the best possible carbon materials that we can have to have this stiffness, to have the stick to last, basically. And you know, like, we see some comments saying, hey, this is another no-name Chinese brand. No, it's not. It's actually manufactured here in Europe.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. We were discussing that in the locker room. The fact that it's made in the EU is a huge deal. Huge deal. It's not like another faceless company that's operating out of a factory somewhere in China. That's not the case. And I think that's why a video like this with you, the face of the company, is so important for us to produce.
Definitely.
Okay, so as Chris said, we're here in Riga, Latvia, looking at barrel sticks. Obviously, I've used them before, but this is your first time.
My first time, yeah.
Personally, I think I stand by what I said before. They're great sticks. I know you break a lot of sticks.
Yeah. So I've been a guy my whole entire life who, unfortunately, Mom, Dad, I know you guys spent a lot of money on sticks, and I've always gone through a lot, and especially in my last few years. Like I said in the last video, I'm 2 or 3 weeks with a stick max, and they start to fall apart.
If that.
which is pretty unfortunate. It is nice to know that there's brands out here like Barrel that are pushing to make hockey more of an accessible place for people to be able to buy affordable sticks that are going to last. And I know we had a quick conversation in the dressing room about, yeah, it's not the cheapest stick you can possibly buy. And yes, you can go from last year's model and go find one on sale. But it still boils down to the point that you may be getting a few dollars off the stick compared to the original release date and retail price. But the durability of that stick is still the same as what you're going to get. So even if you're paying a smaller dollar for that stick, the durability is the same. So you're going to have to buy multiple sticks throughout the year, depending on how long they last. Obviously, you get some that last a little bit longer than others, but just that idea is super cool. And you know, I think it's a very forward idea, and I think that this is the future of where hockey sticks need to go, and to keep people interested in the game and keep the game accessible for everybody.
I completely agree, and obviously we also spoke, obviously I heard Chris and Axel talk about it, that the balance points of the stick is much higher to make sure that the weight isn't felt as much. I don't feel like this is a lot heavier than the sticks I'm using back home.
No, so for me, like my immediate reaction was I took probably 10 shots and I skated over to Chris and I said, you know what, this feels great.
Yeah.
And we spoke again in the dressing room. Obviously we had some good conversation before we hopped on the ice. And with the weight being put into the top end of the stick and the balance point to the top side of the stick, really where your bottom hand is and where you're pushing to find that release point, and what we talk about with technology, 99% of the time we're talking about the technology from where your bottom hand's placed and below, or maybe slightly above in a high kick stick. We're never really talking about what the stick performs like towards the top or towards the knob. So when you're shooting with it, the extra weight really doesn't feel like it's there, which is it's a very pleasant feeling.
And we got some good shots off today. I mean, when we really mixed it up, obviously when we're at home in Romford or Cambridge, depending where we're filming, we don't have tyres to shoot through, and we're not just getting creative for a good, 45 minutes?
Yeah.
We was just messing around, and we got some really nice shots off. Some shots that I don't think would be possible with some of the higher brands, because we were going for about an hour and a half solid, just shooting, and putting it through its test.
What do you think it excelled at? What shots do you think the stick excelled at?
I liked mine for slap shots and wrist shots.
Yeah, I think, I mean, for myself, I look at, I had some really good shots today. For me, I'd rather take an average shot and be able to consistently produce the same shot over and over again, so that when I get into a situation in a game, I know what I'm going to get. And this gave me a consistent performance. Like I said in the last video, all snapshots, some one-timers, but mostly snapshots, and this excelled in that area. And I think it's just such a good idea, and it really makes hockey accessible for people to not have to spend $400 on a hockey stick. Those sticks are the Cadillacs, and they cost that way. They break down, but this is one little hair below. A price that everybody can afford and can go out and be able to get a high-performing stick that's going to last at a good cost. And you know what? It's starting to make me think a little bit. I might be forgiving those in Latvia for the World Junior loss, maybe. We'll see.
Carrying on from that, obviously me and Millsy, we may play for the same team, but we play very, very, very differently. Millsy's got a ridiculous snapshot. I don't think I've ever seen a release be that fast on a snapshot. And me, it takes me, I like to sort of take my time, pick my corner if I can. And I mean, I don't know how I look, but the snapshot looked insane.
Yeah, it felt great. I mean, there's zero complaints on the stick. Obviously, you go get the $400 stick, it feels a little bit lighter. I mean, it might release a hair better, but
not
soft. The price. I mean, if you were to scale out how it feels in comparison to how much you're paying for it and the durability of it, it's not very comparable, right? Like, I mean, it's a great hockey stick, and I think it would be crazy not to give it a try for anybody who is in the game from the young ages of 10 years old, who understand and need a stick that's actually going to work for them, all the way up to to senior hockey?
It feels like a true hybrid. No, I thought it was a low kick, to be honest. I feel like it's got that quick release, but then it's also got that power shot when needed too.
Yeah, I think so. The last stick we tested was the ultra low kick. This is, I think it's a hybrid low. Like, it feels a little bit higher up.
Yeah.
Than what we've tested in the past.
Yep, I agree.
But it's still on the lower half of the stick, and by no means is it uncomfortable as to where it's releasing and kicking from. So I was very comfortable with it and impressed.
I mean, to be honest, I'm using the X Smoke at the minute.
Okay.
The True X Smoke.
I didn't even know that. Okay.
Yeah, I've broke far too many of other ones, so I've transitioned for a little bit, and I mean it's up there. I definitely wouldn't count it out. I mean, the smoke has a good release, but so does the barrel. You know, and if the smoke's going to go soft and break in 2-3 weeks, the barrel's a better option for me.
Yeah. For me, so I use the Warrior QR6.
Yep.
Right now.
Pro.
QR6 Pro.
The way he looked at me, Len, like, is that right?
Yeah, the Pro, the QR6 Pro, and you know what the beauty of this is that Barrel as a company is presenting their product exactly how it is.
Yeah.
They're not saying that this stick weighs the exact same amount as what the 400-pound stick does. Yep. They're saying that it's a little bit heavier. They've put a coat on it to make it more durable. It's going to last longer, and it comes at a cheaper price. It still performs.
Absolutely.
So thank you for Hockey Tutorial to coming to Latvia. This has been great. What I want to say is that you can get these Battle Hockey sticks at our website, battlehockey.com. And they start at $135 so per piece. So yes, go check them out definitely.
For sure. All the links will be down below in the video description. Also, make sure you follow Barrel Hockey. Handles to their social media will be down below in the video description. But thank you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one.
Thanks.
Peace.
I think it was good, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.